So, good morning, everybody. This is Jeff Page with J Page Travel Talks. We're here today to talk about the Bahamas. For us Florida residents, it's right here in our backyard. So, it's an easy commute to get there, and there's some great resorts. So, we're going to talk about some of the things today that maybe you don't know or how easy it is to get there from Florida. So, I'd like to welcome Phylia Shivers to the Travel Talk today. And welcome, Phylia. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Jeff. So, I just wanted to reiterate that my name is Phylia Shivers, and I'm a senior marketing representative with the Bahamas Tourist Office. We have a based in Plantation, Florida. Now, I'm also responsible for the Broward County as well as Central Florida. So I'm here for all of you to assist you with questions, resources, updates. That I'm here. So you can always count on me. You can always call me, as well as send email. You can always reach out to me. Okay. So my job is also to help inspire travelers as well. So, but I just want to say, Jeff, happy National Travel Advisor Appreciation Month. I know yesterday was the day, but we're going to do this and celebrate you all for the entire month. So be
Thank
sure
you.
to visit our social media pages, which I'm going to leave with you a little later within this video, okay?
Okay. Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
no problem. But at the same time, not in any which way I want to dismiss, because I don't want to dismiss the global pandemic of COVID-19 that's affecting us all. The Bahamas remains vigilant and is practicing in all the global practices to help contain this spread, with our borders being closed, still closed at the moment. Our commitment remains, as I mentioned earlier, Jeff, to the health and safety of our residents, and then also to the millions of people or travelers that visit our shores. So, if you haven't seen our message, we have a video that can be found on the Bahamas Tourism and Aviation YouTube page that features Lenny Kravitz. And basically, the video is to remind everyone, our travelers, that we'll be ready to welcome all of you as soon as it's safe to do so. Okay. So, enough about the COVID. We won't spend too much time on what's happening. But at the same time, we're just gonna jump straight into why I'm here. So I just want to say thank you, Jeff, for giving us this opportunity to talk about, the destination that we call home. And it's a beautiful destination, very much so. So we're gonna talk about the numerous ways that you can get to the islands of the Bahamas. Um, Florida, the good thing about Florida is that Florida has a dedicated cruise line as well as a dedicated ferry service to the islands. For example, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is the dedicated cruise out of Port of West Palm. And they say they have services into Freeport, Grand Bahama, as well as new services into Nassau. Now, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, they offer 2 to 5 day cruises where you can set sail on a quick getaway at any day of the week, which is perfect. I mean, coming off of this global pandemic, I'm sure a lot of persons they're going to be a little bit timid to travel far. And the great thing about our islands is that we're so close to Florida. We have an ongoing joke, Jeff. I don't know if you've heard this before, but we tend to say if Florida sneezes, the Bahamas catches a cold. So that's how close we are. And we love the fact that we're able to highlight our proximity, because we think it makes a perfect getaway, a perfect trip, and it's quick and it's easy. Like I mentioned, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, they offer also their what they call double play cruise and stay. where you're able to extend your stay to any of the partnering hotels that they have partnered with in Nassau as well as in Freeport. So you have a quite a good mix. I think in Nassau you have they partner with the Atlantis, SLS Baha Mar, Comfort Suites, and also an all inclusive, which is with Malia. And then in Freeport, there are quite a few as well. I think it's the Viva Fortuna, which is an all inclusive property, Tano Beach, Pelican Bay, and also Grand Lucayan. Okay, so that's just to give you a rough idea of, places that you can stay if you decide to extend your cruise
So
to a cruising state.
just to talk a little bit about the Bahamas Paradise Cruise. It's really a nice cruise ship. It's got a casino. It's got restaurants on it. It's an older ship that's been remodeled, and it's very reasonably priced.
Very.
I've seen prices of $400 for two people for a 3 day short trip. So
Mhm.
it definitely a good way to get there. So I think let's consider that as we go. There's the option of Nassau and Freeport. So great option to get to the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And I like the fact that you mentioned, the cost. It's very cost effective, extremely. And, especially for a short, quick getaway, you don't want to break the bank on, and that cruise would be perfect.
Yep.
So moving along, we also have the dedicated ferry that I mentioned. It's actually Balearia Caribbean, and it's the ferry service out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, and they service Freeport, Grand Bahama once again, and then also Bimini Island. I don't know if you're familiar with Bimini, Jeff.
Yes, I am.
Good. So it's a beautiful little quaint island. I love it there. It's so close. So, whenever I get homesick, because I am based in Florida, just hop on the Balearia, which is also another cost effective. It's really, really priced for two people for one. The great thing about it is from the ferry ride from Florida to Bimini, well, I should say out of Fort Lauderdale to Bimini is about an hour and 30 minutes. And then give or take about 2.5 hours into Freeport. So literally you can hop on the ferry in the morning and get there within the day. It's great for day trippers. It really is, especially those who just want to, a quick I need to unwind for a bit, especially for the weekend, maybe come right back within the day. So it makes a perfect day, perfect trip for day trippers. And then those who are looking for that quick weekend getaway or overnight island stay, they also offer that as well. So you can hop on the ferry. If you want to plan, that could be your mode of transportation. You can hop on the ferry, plan out where you stay probably 1 or 2 nights at a hotel, and then hop back on the ferry and you're back into Florida, which is great as well.
Yeah, it's basically a water taxi. It's no
Yep.
frills. It'll get you there. Don't expect a cruise ship kind of atmosphere, but it's definitely a cost-effective way to get there. Like we said, whether
Hmm.
that's a day trip or you want to go and stay at a hotel for 2 or 3 nights and come back, it's another inexpensive, safe, quick way to get to the Bahamas.
Exactly. And
So
that's what
is
we want
that
to get out there.
I know we're going to talk air in another segment, but can you get a plane and fly to some of the other islands if you go to Bimini?
Yes, you can. Well, Silver Airways is a one of the airlines that goes into Bimini as well as Bahamas Air, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, but Silver can get you there as well.
Okay,
Hmm.
awesome.
Sure. After talking about how to get there, the main thing after you arrive is what to do once you get onto the islands, right? So I'm going to give you a few good nuggets, Jeff. I don't know, some you may know about and then some you don't know about. But I want to highlight um, one of my favorite things to do when I go down. And that is to do a walking tour, a walking food tour. I
We
don't
did
know how
that.
many persons know about
We
it.
did that with a group of 20 I had, so they split us up into two groups. It was
Hmm.
awesome. It
I
was
am telling
a
you, it's like it's so perfect. So for us, with the food walking tour, it basically combines authentic Bahamian cuisines, food, and drinks while gaining a fascinating historical as well as cultural insights to the island.
best
That's
conch fritters ever.
right.
Bad.
So you get to indulge in your favorite Bahamian dishes, whether that's mac and cheese, but we call it macaroni, or the famous conch salad that's fresh, right out the sea, or your favorite, Jeff, the conch fritters.
Well, I mean, just because they were the best ones I've ever had. I've had a lot of bad conch fritters, and those were really good.
Ooh. So Jeff, this is not a disclaimer, but you have to let everyone know that if you want the best conch fritters is where in the Bahamas, right?
Gotta go.
Okay, you have to
I
take
would do
that
it
trip.
all again just to go to that restaurant that we did the lunch in for the conch fritters.
Oh, nice.
So we got back on the ship. Like I said, we were in two groups, and we were arguing over who had the best tour guide.
Oh,
That gives you an indication how good the tour was. And we had
right?
two separate guides, and
Hmm.
literally we got back on. No, ours was better. No, ours was better. Ours did this, and they were like, oh, we were back and forth over the tour guide. So yeah, that was a great tour, about 3 hours long.
Hmm.
An easy walk because you're stopping every 10-15 minutes, so you really don't walk
Exactly.
a length of time. I mean, you might walk a
Exactly.
couple miles in the whole day, but
Hmm.
it's an easy walk. It's not something you have to worry about. If you can walk around the block in your neighborhood, you can do that tour.
And it keeps your interest too, because not only are you indulging in those nice cuisines, but you're also getting bites of history and pieces or insights to our culture as well, you know. And
Mm.
I'm happy that you mentioned, you guys are fighting over who tour guide was best, because that leads me to my second favorite activity or experience, and that is the people to people program. I don't know if you've
Never
heard
did.
about a people to. So we have a people to people program, and I always say that the best way to experience the culture of a country or of a city or wherever you travel is to connect with the people, and that's number one. So our people to people program actually pairs um, local Bahamian ambassadors with travelers based on that have similar interests. So if you're a big foodie, you will probably be paired with me, Jeff. So I'm gonna invite you over for some good Bahamian food. That good peas and rice. Have your comforters on the side, and have maybe a Bahama Mama, or what we call a gully wash, which is pretty good too. It's awesome actually. So yeah, it's just basically pairing a local with the traveler based on similar interests, and you have the opportunity to be an honorary Bahamian for the day,
Awesome.
right?
Sounds right up
So it's
my alley. I was a chef for over 45 years professionally, so I'm
the
always up for food. So let's go.
right. Trust me, Bahamians know how to have a party. I can tell you that. But our personalities, our friendly spirit is so infectious that persons like you guys did can fight over us at times. But it makes a great experience. It's an excellent way to experience the island and who we are as a people. So the people to people program has been around for a few years now, and if persons are interested in this program, they can always reach out through our Bahamas.com page, and they can type in people to people. And I think it's about like a 2 week. You want to give it, you want it to be well in advance. You don't just want to pop in and say, hey, we're down, we want to do the people to people program. No, but give them some time to actually pair you with, the right family or the right person or the right Bahamian ambassador.
So I know the walking tour was limited to 12 or 13 people, and so they split us into two groups because we had like 22.
Hmm.
Is there a limit on the people to people, and is there a minimum limit or a maximum limit on that?
I think I'm not too sure about a limit. I can find that out for you, but I think that's why they like. We would prefer a 2 weeks notice if
Mhm.
you're coming down and if you're interested. So we're gonna find out the dates that you're scheduled to come down, especially, and it works perfect for cruises as well because you know which day you're sailing into Nassau. You can always plan ahead 2 weeks out. We can do that for you if you're coming with your family, maybe a guy's trip or a girl's trip, a big family trip. It does. I don't think the numbers really matter, but we do gather some information first, like when you're coming, what you're interested in, and then that gives us time to actually find the right Bahamian ambassador for you.
Okay, awesome. I have a group coming in February that's looking for to do like a high tea, so maybe we can talk that later.
Nice. Oh, that's actually another good point because in Nassau they have we have tea time at the government's house, which is good.
Yeah.
That's a great activity for your guests. That would be a great one actually too. Tea time at the government house. So we listen. There are so many activities that you can do. I know within a short period of time, especially for cruises. Some just relax on the beach and then they say that's it. No, there's so much to explore with even within that short period of time. You have the walking tour. You can plan ahead for the people to people experience and tea time at the government's house. You can do that once you plan ahead. You can also visit like local museums. We do have a national art gallery that's based in Nassau as well. You can visit a few historical and heritage sites. For example, in Bimini, I'm not sure if many know, but we do have the Fountain of Youth. So if you're
That's orchid.
interested, next time that you're down in Bimini, you want to go and visit the Fountain of Youth. Another good activity is that you can
Will it
participate
make
in,
my hair grow back? No.
right. While you're down in Bimini, you can also participate in a boat making class, which is pretty good. You get to understand how we make boats.
Since the
Um,
picture of a bonefish showed up, you might even be able to charter a ship, a boat, and go
there
bonefish.
you go, and go fishing.
There's lots
Some
of
good.
good fishing in the Bimini area, especially, but all through the
Exactly. Well, I would say in Bimini as well as in the Grand Bahama Island as well.
and swimming
Um,
with the pigs. You can go swim with the pig.
exactly in Exuma. So a lot of persons call it the Pig Beach, but the actual name is actually Big Major's Key. Now, a lot of other islands have adopted the same experience as well, but the original island, or key, I should say, is Big Major's Key that's based in Exuma. A little fun fact about Exuma is that Exuma has 365 keys. So that's an experience for each day of the year.
Yeah.
So we got to get on it, Jeff. We have
How
to.
far is that from NASA
The Exumas is probably about, I would say, less than an hour by plane.
by plane?
Yeah, less than an hour.
So, okay,
Hmm.
perfect. Well, thank you. I'm going to wrap this one up. So thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. My name is Jeff Page with Cruise Planners. We do the J Page Travel Talks. You can find them on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page. Thank you again, Philia, for joining me today.
Thank
This
you for having me, Jeff.
awesome chat, and we'll talk again soon.